Harahan Tire and Muffler, 8424 Jefferson Highway.
This is Fun Radio.
WTIX, and we love you.
Harahan Tire and Muffler, 8424 Jefferson Highway.
This is Fun Radio.
WTIX, and we love you.
Yes, when in doubt, at least act like you're having a good time. Fool the public. No, nobody's going to know the difference anyway. We got the Zydeco Boogaloo in the background, and what we're carrying over, what the running topic is this evening, this wonderful, beautiful, boy, can I lie, huh, evening, is the MORGUS thing. You know anything, you got any kind of reminiscent story about the old MORGUS guy. I don't care if you were on the show or you used to watch the show, or your mama used to watch it, or you spilled a po' boy on the TV one time when they was watching. It don't make any difference. It makes no difference as long as it pertains to the MORGUS thing and the John Pila show. Now, searching my memory banks, you know how when you look back, in retrospect, as they say, you think, geez, why wasn't I more of a participant in society? The thing was on, you watched it, maybe you didn't watch it, but some people actually went down there and danced. Of course, there was a point in time where we beat the mainstream, we beat the nation to the integration thing. Remember that also. They had blacks on the John Pila show before it was politically correct, before they were forced to, and it's for the simple reason we get along here, regardless of what you might hear or what you might believe after you listen to it. But we got bigger problems than that, I guess is what it is. And maybe some of us are smart enough to realize it. But we do have some big problems, believe me there, yes, yeah. And one of them is our representation, I figure. We're getting some good things. We got Lindeen. We got a couple of others in. We got a couple of others out. That's going to help. That's going to make things a little bit better. A lobby reform bill was passed. I hate to bore you with all this stuff. I mean, it's only your world we're talking about. It's only your country. It's only you that's powerless to do just about anything about anything. It's only the lobbyists that are in there putzing up everything and screwing up everything, and you're just sitting there watching the television or eating popcorn or sucking on the candy bar or popping open the beer or the soft drink, and you don't realize the whole thing is going to roll you over. You're going to be flat dead meat pretty soon if you don't pay attention. And that's what I'm trying to do, is point out to you that you need to pay a little bit more attention. I spent about 10 years getting high and not paying attention, exactly, on anything I could get my hands or anybody else's hands on. And just woke up one day and said, hey, wait, what the hell is going on here? I mean, if I wanted to change anything in the country, there wouldn't be anything I'd be able to do about it. There's very little I can do about it now. All I can do is talk to you, whoever you are, about it, wherever you're at. So we're kind of intermingling here between the combination of MORGUS and the Pila. I want to call from who used to be a go-go girl on the John Pila show. They had some. Let me tell you, they had some fine mamas over there. Yeah, but we can use that on the semi-serious side, on the realistic, humanistic side. Is that a word, humanistic? I don't know. I make things up sometimes. But then we can look at the stinko part of reality also. Now look, I'm looking at 3 articles here. One is about a guy, Representative Enid Waldhost. All right, he's screwed. He's a senator. He's screwed up. He's out of here. David Durenberger of Minnesota, sentenced Wednesday to a year probation and a $1,000 fine. And New Hampshire Senator Bob Smith. These people are dropping like flies. They are dropping like flies. This, the combination of the talk radio thing and the Internet, an important, integral part of society today, the Internet, the World Wide Web, if you would. By the way, QJWS35A, you can email me if you've got anything pertinent. And of course, I'm peeing in the wind here to say email me. I got a phone. Nobody's calling me. I mean, I got 3 telephone lines here that are open right now, and nobody's calling the damn things, and I'm saying email me. I mean, that's ultimately stupid. I'd be better to stick my head out of the damn window right now and scream fire and hope the fire department came. I'll bet you, hey, the radio's on fire. Come on. I bet you they wouldn't pee on it to put it out, man. It's just the apathy is so widespread, it's making me want to puke. It's getting me sick. make me want to go home and watch the damn television set or something. You know, I could get home in time for Rush at 11 o'clock. He's on Channel 54. I don't know if I should tell you that because, back at things, but they're dropping off like flies. People believe me. Things have got to change. We've got to take a different approach than we are. We can no longer afford to be apathetic, to not pay attention to what's going on in our government. I just have this fear that there's this big thing that's about to happen. It's got to do with Whitewater. It's got to do with the Clintons, and it's got to do with what went on when he was governor and where the money came for him to become president, that kind of thing. This is not something I'm making up. Nothing I can get sued for slander or anything, because I haven't said that it's anything else other than what I suspect to be the truth as a result of what I am observing around me. Now, you know how rumors fly about something. People, maybe you don't like somebody, maybe you make up a bad story. But when you can get on a computer and you can see 185 bad stories, and they're about the president, when you can listen to mainstream media television shows and what you would call super celebrities, people that are very very in touch with what's going on in society today, when they make comments like, don't look in the park for the Vince Foster bullet because it ain't there, then you know something's up. But we're going to go to Paul right now in New Orleans. How you doing, Paul?
Hey, Jude, it's Paul. How you doing?
Okay.
Well,
So, there's an echo in here.
heard you talking about apathy there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you read, but yesterday there was one of the local organizations, political organizations, had a meeting having to do with citizen involvement and apathy in government.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody showed up.
I can believe it, and I can believe it. We're laughing, but that's what's going on. And people are they're not paying attention. We're too wrapped up in our material world. It's getting better, though, Paul. It's getting better. Senator Dean told me I had to be optimistic. He said you got to be up. You can't look at the downside of everything. You have to look at the upside. And I'll take his advice. I mean, the guy went from a welder to state senator, and of course he's 72. It took him quite a while. But he is, I don't know if you saw the article on him today about he's sort of a reformist. In other words, they're giving him a budget to buy furniture. He says, for what? The place has got furniture in it. Use that furniture. That's why we're in the hole we're in right now. We're buying new things, and they got people without jobs,
I'll tell you what, I worked for the government.
Mm-hmm.
And several years. And, if you ran your household like that, you'd be out of business a long time ago. I mean,
Exactly.
You don't replace your furniture, your TV set, or your microwave just because the latest one is out and you now have money in your budget to do it.
If you have somebody else's money, you do, though. That's what they got. Somebody else's money. Your money, my money.
And it's the end of the fiscal year comes. If you don't spend it, you got to give it back. So what do? You spend it.
Spend it. It's just this big game they're playing, and we're financing it. And more and more people are waking up, I guess. Are you connected any kind of way with a computer? You do anything like that?
No.
No. Okay. If you got one of those and you got on this, you don't have to understand it because I don't. But you can view it. You can just look. If you try to participate, it's kind of hard. They're kind of funny about you putting a message into the thing. But if you just read what is out there, I mean, there are some bizarre, in particular with Whitewater and the president. And there are so many. I can't get into the details because they're so bizarre. But that's exactly what it is. But they're consistent. There's people in Idaho, people in Chicago, people in California. These people can't all be, members of the same club making this crap up. There's got to be something somewhere that this. So all I can do is tell you there, Paul, is pay attention, stay tuned, like we say in radio, because something's up there.
I think there's more people are starting to realize that they're not believing everything they're being told now. They realize that there's a lot more going on out there. But until the majority of the people wake up and realize that, they're out there to get you.
Mm-hmm.
They're working on your pocketbook now, and they're working on your rights. And,
in your schools, everything else.
A little bit gets taken away each year.
History. Suppose you're a kid, 8, 10 years old. If they keep fooling around with the history lessons like they're doing, some people will never know who the first president was or what Lincoln did or anything like that. And that's what the move is right now, to distort history. This revisionism thing is it's bad. It's bad.
Revisionist history.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, you're seeing the same thing right now. Look in the local scene. I mean, like the other day when John Marie was talking about what happened over the weekend. But, that's just one example. There's a lot going on that you may hear of a particular thing that happened, but you pick up the newspaper the next day, you tune on the local news, not a thing mentioned.
Strange, huh?
they revise it before it even hits the news.
I like when I see a murder in the third section, in the C section of the Metro section of the newspaper on the third page. A murder.
Right.
I mean, somebody's life is taken, and in an effort to make it look like things aren't as bad as they are, it's unbelievable. It's hidden.
What they put on the front page of a supposedly large metropolitan newspaper, take up half the front page with some story about the local sports or the Saints
Sure.
or whatever.
Look at
And
today, garbage police.
And then buried back on page 27 is something there about what's going on over there with Bosnia, sending 37,000 troops and everything else.
Unbelievable.
But yet they put sports right up there on the front page.
Okay, Paul, I got to move on to another call, but I'll thank you for calling.
Okay.
All right, Paul reached us at 260-9849 or 260 WTIX. Hello, Joe.
Yeah, it's me again, Jude. I was listening to your deal about when MORGUS calls, and all. It seems like more of the people would call about that, but it always gets back to politics.
Yeah, well, I wished it didn't have to. We could.
But it's ironic, I met with a group of people today. Whatever, we would just happen to all just be at this place together. It wasn't pre-planned or nothing, and we started talking about all this. And the way we look at it is like, it's the people themselves that have to change this. The politicians can't. It's obvious they can't do nothing. They haven't did anything. So we just all kind of agreed that it's just don't even involve them guys in that. Just sort of kind of lay down a sword, and it was just a lot of black guys, white people there, and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And we just said, hey, man, it's on us. I mean, we depend on these clowns to do anything. I mean, it's never going to happen.
Right, but in order to make the system work the way it's supposed to, we have to use them. What we have to do is sort out the bad. There's, like I just said on the air here, there's 3 articles here from 3 different parts of the country with 3 different senators that have screwed up in 3 different ways where they're out of here now. So they're messing up. What it tells me is they have been messing up left and right for years. We just haven't been clever enough to catch them, and we're getting smarter. We're paying more attention.
Jude, it's funny, though. You see, money corrupts. I mean, anytime you get somebody around that much money, they're going to get sticky fingers. I mean, just like this thing with Clinton with Whitewater. I mean, a couple of years back, it was Neil Bush with the savings and loans. I mean, if it walks like a duck, it quacks, it's a duck. I mean, I don't care who they are. Politicians are politicians. I don't care if he's Republican, Democrat, or
exactly
whatever. I mean, you got to call a spade a spade. So, I mean, that's why, I'm glad I kind of met with some of these guys today. And, it's time for just the people to just maybe get to know your neighbor. I don't know. I can't explain it. It's just something like, how it used to be when we were kids?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, well, okay. I mean, it's that stuff's got to come back. I mean, like we were talking today about, this Armageddon deal, too. I mean, like, when you were 15, you wasn't worrying about Armageddon, politics. I mean, all you were worrying about was what girl you were going to be with and how much money your daddy gave you on a Friday night.
You knew me, huh?
Yeah. I knew a lot of guys like you.
Yeah, that's exactly right. But today, it's a different world. I hate to say
I'm going to tell you the way I look at it. I took a real good gut check today, and I said, hey, man, I can't solve this, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to worry about what girl I'm with on a Friday night and how much money I got in my pocket. And
all right, Joe. Look, speaking of money, I got to go make some. But,
okay, man. Thanks, I mean, that's it.
Thank you, Joe.
Okay, man.
All right, Joe reached us at 260-9849, 260 WTIX. It's going to make you sick. That's why I'm bringing it up. Not going to make you throw up, but it might. But here you are. I don't know who you are. We just talked to Joe, talked to a couple others tonight. I'm sure just about everybody. I don't think anybody's on an easy gravy train. I don't think anybody out there, the majority of you, have it so cushy that you don't have to work an 8-hour day. You don't have to hump it and excel in your trade to be able to make ends meet. You've got the rent and the electric and the gas and the car and the phone and all that stuff, and you've got that tax thing taken out of your check, and you wonder where that money's going. Well, you'll be surprised to find out where over $8,000 went. Well, maybe you won't be surprised, but we'll tell you where. $8,000 of your tax money. And we're also looking for your MORGUS calls. You got a story about MORGUS. I don't care if you were on the show or John Pila. If you were on the Go-Go show there, those skirts were short. Hey, we'd like to hear from you. The inline.
This is Fun Radio.
WTIX, and we love you.
Ruler of my heart, robber of my soul, oh, where can you be? I wait patiently. My heart cries out from pain inside.
Yeah, sing it, Irma. And continue. Hey, we'll be here till 12 o'clock tonight, almost late night live. The in-light number is 260-9849 or 260 WTIX. Reminiscing about MORGUS and the John Pila show or the hurricane, anything from the 60s. Inspired, of course, by the Channel 12 thing tonight. I just got on a nostalgia trip. Hadn't planned on it. I was going to rant and rave over Whitewater and all the crap that's going on over there, but and we can do that also. But listen to this. You work hard, you pay taxes, you wonder where the tax money's going. Here's where some of it is. I know where $8,635 is. Tipper Gore. She was Beauty, and her husband Al, you know him, second in charge there. He was the Beast. And now the Hollywood scale bill for their Halloween costumes has come due. Now, the tab billed by the Walt Disney Company for tailor-made Beauty and the Beast costumes for the Vice President and his wife totaled $8,635. That includes the cost of flying a costume designer and makeup artist from the West Coast to ply their arts on the government's number 2 couple. Not the number 1, but the number 2. Now, you're working, I'm working, we're paying taxes, we're hiring these people, and these clowns are putzing around with almost $9,000 worth of costumes, and we're paying for it. Now, did anybody, sure, this is a democracy. Sure, we're supposed to vote, but that's what we get for voting these clowns in here. This is what we get. This is unbelievable, that money can be spent like this at a time where they tell us that the budget is flopped, that we're operating on a deficit. I mean, if you've got $8 in your checking account, let's rephrase it. If you've got minus $8 in your checking account, you don't go out and spend $9,000 on Hollywood costumes, unless, of course, it's somebody else's money you have access to. We received the bill, and we're going to pay it through the Democratic National Committee, says Lorraine Velez, the Vice President's Communication Director, and we really don't have anything to add to that. Well, that about says it right there. They really don't. In other words, screw you, and we got nothing to add to it. I mean, the hell with you, and we got nothing to add to it. We're going to do it. We're snobby SOBs, and the hell with you, and we're going to pay for it. It makes no damn difference, and that's about the bottom line. We're better than you. We're so damn far above you that when we look down, we can't even see you. All we want is your vote, and once we get that vote and you get us in, we're in, ha-ha on you, screw you, and that's all, and we're not going to add anything else to it. And what are we doing about it? What are you doing, New Orleans, about it? What are we doing locally about it? I don't know. I'm gonna put MORGUS back. But I wish MORGUS would come back on, huh? Where the hell is he now? Why would he not be on? What's the politics there? What's going on with that? Is it just not a correct society anymore for that type of thing, or where the hell's MORGUS, man? What do we got now? What do we have now? But anyway, the Gores. Hell of a name, huh? The Gores wore the elaborate costumes on the October 27th Halloween party held at the Vice President's official residence for 500 reporters and their families. A Gore aide had telephoned John Cook, a Disney Channel executive vice president, a week before the party, asking about acquiring costumes for the Gores. No bill was requested or submitted. But that was before a tip to the National Post, the Washington Post, brought media coverage noting that the government ethics guidelines bar federal employees from soliciting gifts from those who have business with the government. Gore quickly agreed to have the Democratic Party pay for the costumes rather than charge his official household account, which footed the rest of the bill for the party. In other words, we paid for it instead of him. The Democratic National Committee, it's just, there you go. You wonder where it is. You wonder where the yellow went. Brush your teeth with the government. It's all I can tell you. 260-9849 or 260 WTIX. Who we got now? Hello. Hello, Paul. Yes?
Hello.
Yeah, what's up, Paul?
How you doing?
Okay.
Fine. I was just talking about that $8,000 costume.
Sure.
Yeah. And what people doing about it?
Nothing.
You know what they're doing about it?
I give up.
I tell you what. They're worrying about the few little people getting a few little nickels on welfare.
Exactly.
They ain't worried about the other stuff, you know.
That's right.
Where our tax money goes. We're gonna be paying tax the rest of our life. We ain't gonna never know where it's going.
Right.
But we do know it go over here. All these foreigners come over here. They didn't have to pay no tax.
Paul, they sent $2 million to Bosnia to immunize kids. Do you have any kids?
Yeah,
Okay,
I have 5 of them.
They've been immunized?
Huh?
Have they been immunized, given shots so they don't get disease or sick?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you had to pay for it, right?
Oh, yeah.
Somebody did. See, not so facto if you're a Yugoslavian kid. We paid for it for them.
I had to pay for them going through all the way through college. They didn't get no grant. I didn't get no grant or nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I went in the service in Vietnam, stayed 4 years in there. Come back out here and found out everybody's prejudices, against each other and all that. But I scuffled and sent 5 kids into college.
Well, that's good. At least you can hold your head up with
so
that.
They won't have to have their hand out.
Right.
You know?
Right. At least you had enough foresight to see that, Paul. Because
Yeah.
without it used to be high school. Remember?
Yeah.
They used to tell you, boy, if you don't have a high school education, you're up. Now it's college. You don't have college now.
And then I didn't send them to public school.
Well, how'd they turn out?
I sent them to Catholic school.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. One of my daughters is my first daughter. That's my oldest daughter.
Mm-hmm.
She went to school and then she wanted to go to college for interior decorator.
All right.
So that's when they had it over there in Marrero.
She making money now?
I sat over there for that, and she couldn't get a job there. She come back and told me, said, Daddy, I want to go for something else. I can't get a job there, so I want to go for secretary.
All right.
So now she is an executive secretary and an interior decorator.
Okay.
Well, she's been working for some attorney for years. My second daughter, she is a nurse. My third daughter is a nurse and a beautician.
Okay.
And my son is a certified welder, and the other one is certified body and fender man. Now, that's what they wanted to be.
Mm-hmm.
But I sent them all to Catholic school.
See, that was my problem, figuring out what I wanted to be. That's
Yeah.
Look what happened to me. I still don't know what I am, but you did good, Paul. I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
I mean,
but the only thing would bring me up, the few little people getting their little welfare, they're going to have fraud and everything. They got fraud all over. They got fraud in the White House.
Mm-hmm.
You see? They're going to have fraud and everything. And not only that, because if they're on the welfare, and I don't have nobody in my family on the welfare, but it just bugs me because all our money going overseas everywhere. Look where they're fixing to send all them troops that's over there. We don't have nothing to do with that over there.
Right. We don't need to go over there.
No, but all these people back here in the South here worrying about the few little nickels they get on the welfare, and the few little nickels they get on the welfare, they got to puke their guts out for that. Me, I wouldn't want no part of it. I didn't want my kids to be no part of it. That's why I worked hard about it. But as a whole, I'm still got to pay my damn tax. My damn tax going overseas, or it's going in the garbage can a half a stick.
And you ain't got a choice.
They got somebody to pet their toenail. They sleep on silk. Nice place to live in.
You don't pay it, and they come and get you too, Paul. You don't pay it, and they come and get you.
But yet still, we worrying about them few little nickels. Man, but I don't give a damn where the tax, if they get welfare, they get it. They don't. It don't worry me because I know damn well I'm gonna have to pay tax anyway. What is the difference?
Okay, Paul. Look, I appreciate your call. I'm proud of you. I'm glad you did what you did, Paul.
Right.
All right. Thank you, man. Paul reached us at 260-9849 or 260-WT. 5 kids through college, man, through Catholic school. I forgot to ask him what he did, but that took quite a bit there. But that's what you got to do. Used to be, if you went to high school, you were okay. You could get out and be something. Now it's college, and look what it costs. Look how much it costs. And if you don't know somebody somewhere and you don't get a grant, you're screwed. Those that got get more, and them that ain't don't. Is that how it goes? I think. The inline number here is 260-9849 or 260-WTIX. Reminiscing about MORGUS here, and I still never got a call from a hot mama that was one of the dancing girls on the John Peeler show. From what they tell me, there were thousands. Would they all die? What happened to him? I mean, it wasn't that long ago. Come on, it was only 35 years ago. There's got to be some old chick kicking around there that used to wear the miniskirt now that maybe you still got it in the closet. I don't know. But the children of the light are waiting. You won't believe this either. This is another bizarre story about some people that just sort of dropped out of society. Maybe they were paying attention like we are now, and they realize, hey, the hell with this. Let's go somewhere else. But we'll tell you about the children of the light coming up after the break on Hot Talk Radio.
Tire Town at 1620 Belchase Highway in Gretna sells Michelin, Dunlop, Uniroyal, Hallmark, Mastercraft, and Cavalier tires. 90 days, same as cash.
Tire Town also does brake work, alignments, shocks, and...
Italian restaurant, 134 North Carrollton Avenue, serving New Orleans since 1957.
WTIX helps the chores go fast, makes the day go fast, fast, fast. New Orleans.
I don't care if you pass a good time or a kidney stone. As long as you pass something here, we're going to pass our way all the way till 12 o'clock tonight. The inline number 260-9849 or 260 WTIX. It's Terry. Hello, Terry.
Hi.
Bosnia, huh?
Yeah, Bosnia.
Jeez.
Oh, I don't know. I say let's just, I don't know. I really, one part of me says keep the boys here. The second part thinks of World War II and how everyone turned away from what was going on with Hitler, so I don't know. I think the whole world's going to pot and to hell with it.
No, you see, what was going on with Hitler, it was a short span of time. He got in, he got power, he lied, and he deceived, and he got a bunch of people got confidence in him, and it all happened so fast. This has been going on for 200 years. This has been going on for 200 years. You know, this is not going to stop, and it's not going to get any worse than it is. Common sense would tell you, but we don't seem to be applying common sense. We seem to be applying presidential pressure here. He wants to go, and all these military these military guys.
That's the old Mussolini trick of, let's keep the attention over there while, we stir the pot over here.
Mm-hmm.
He's got so much going on in his own backyard, he doesn't even know what's going on. But what I really called to say was to your last caller, Mr. Paul.
Yes?
Hey, Mr. Paul, drink one for me. I have to go to work in the morning, darling, but have one for me.
Okay.
All right, y'all have a good time.
Okay, Terry.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Terry reaches at 260-9849 or 260 WTIX. I understand the part of her that says don't go over there to Bosnia, but I don't understand the part that says, the World War II thing here. I just don't think that it's a serious problem for us. Last night we had some people comment that, when you sign up for military service, you sign up for military service. What else do you expect to do? But then we had somebody point out that, you sign up to protect your country. This is not our country we're protecting. I don't see any imminent danger to our country right away. Am I blind? Am I stupid? Am I not paying attention? I don't think so. I think it's just that certain someones want to go over there for whatever reason. For the red herring reason, for the distraction, for the shell game reason, for the distraction from Whitewater, because that's hot. And don't think, and that's part of why this whole thing has gotten as far as it has gotten. Don't think that just because someone is in a high position, things can't be screwed up. If you don't believe me, look at Salt Lake City, Representative Enid Walhorst. She had problems well before she married the man that she blamed for money troubles in her most recent election bid. That's the one who said her husband ran away, took a bunch of money, that kind of thing. That's one area. Anywhere between her campaign, she spent between $155,000 and $445,000, according to the local news report. And she reported assets of between well, the figures don't matter. In other words, she said that she actually spent more than she's worth. And go figure that. But that's one. That's one, a representative. Here's another former senator, Senator David Durenberger. He's from Minnesota. He was sentenced Wednesday to a year probation and fined $1,000 on 5 misdemeanor charges that he stole $425 in public funds by abusing his congressional expense account. Now, a thief is a thief. If anybody steals, they caught him one time. Do you think that was the only time that he was stealing? No, it's the only time he got caught. You think that in his entire career, and I'd have to look into it to see how long he's been, but do you think that in his entire career he only stole once? No, he only got caught once. And he's apologizing now. And New Hampshire Senator Bob Smith, he was voting with fellow Republicans to limit damage awards in lawsuits. All right, him and fellow Republicans. So we're not biased here. We don't care who we give you the report on, but this guy's a Republican. The other two are Democrats. And he's voting to limit the amount of money that you can get if you get involved in a lawsuit. At the same time, his wife is suing somebody for $3 million in a personal injury case. So the quote is, he's a hypocrite. The fact is, they're right. He is. The quote came from Rich Vornick, who's the legal policy director of Citizen Action. The GOP formula ties pain and suffering awards to future economic earnings. Mrs. Smith left her teaching job last year to raise the couple's 3 children, and she declined to answer questions about the matter, but sent out a one-page statement. She declined to comment on it. And what did the representatives for the vice president say? That they were going to just pay the bill, and that was all that was to be said. So screw us is all we can tell you. On the Bosnia thing, the United States hopes to pull some of its forces out in Bosnia before the one-year peacekeeping mission is up. Now, here they're pulling them out already, then they've been over there yet. A few are. But they're pulling them out already. They're telling us. And guess what? Just in time for the re-election. Boy, if this tactic, if this strategy works, it's going to make me puke. Believe me. If we go for this, we're just not paying attention. I want you to pay attention to the Whitewater stuff. I've had oodles of stuff faxed to me about this, and at first, ignored it at first because I wasn't getting it from anywhere else other than the fax machine. Well, then I viewed the internet, scanned that, everything else, and it was like maybe there's something here. Now, several months later, obviously there's something there. Between the Vince Foster assassination and the videos, have you seen those? Has anybody seen those videos about the president? About Clinton and the Clinton Chronicles is what it's called. And it's an actual video where they explain in detail. It's done by a guy that basically was right in the middle of the Clinton administration, back when he was governor now. And he's kind of reporting, him and a couple of state troopers are coming out and they're spilling their beans or whatever. But it's a fat chance that it's going to get any coverage. You see, that's why you're saying, well, I didn't read that in the newspaper. I didn't see it in Time. You're not going to see it in Time magazine yet. They're not going to stick their necks out until they're absolutely certain. Then everybody is going to stumble over each other trying to be the first ones to say, well, we broke the story, because that's highly relevant. That's highly significant. They'd be the one to break the story. But I look for the story to break. It could happen at any minute now. It could be happening right now, and I'm sitting here putzing around talking to you instead of paying attention to what the hell's going on. But I'm waiting for you to call me. Nobody calls me after, I think at 10:30 we all take a nap or something. But what we're looking for tonight is anybody that can reminisce with us about MORGUS. Remember him. He's still alive and kicking somewhere. Where? I'm sure somebody knows where Chopsley is, or whoever the hell he was. Could have been anybody. Could have been an interchangeable guy, but from what I understand, it was one. Also, if you were on the John Peeler show, if you were one of them swinging mamas in the miniskirt, where are you? And where's the miniskirt, huh? What'd you do with that thing? Did the moss eat it? I mean, it was, 100 years ago? Something like that. But you're listening to Almost Late Night Live on WTIX, 690 AM in New Orleans, and WASO, 730 AM in Covington. But here's the thing I tell you about the Children of Light. Now, they're fanatics, nuts all over the place, I guess. In fact, I know, because we got a phone here, and we get a lot of fanatical information. Aside from the regular legitimate calls, we get some strange stuff, too. What is, like Martin would say, what's up with that, huh? Well, you ought to not talk so fast. Excuse me, lady, but I'm thinking fast. I got to talk fast. That's just the way that it goes. I guess I could slow down, but this woman, this particular lady, was seeking immortality when she left her husband and her home in British Columbia decades ago. She gave up sex, she gave up meat, and she gave up other sins. How sex and meat got next to each other, I don't know. I didn't do it. But now, more than 80 years old, her veined hands shake and her voice quivers as she explains her life as one of the Children of Light. Do you remember those when they went away? Living a regimented life in an isolated desert commune. These people are still there, still living. This lady's 80 years old. Who wants to quit having sex, she says, but you give it up and you get eternal life, says Elect Barrel. One of only 7 surviving members of the sect. They all dropped their former names and took the names Elect to show that they are God's chosen. They live a simple life, gardening, sewing their clothes, and patiently awaiting the coming of Jesus Christ's kingdom, where there will be no death or sickness. They live off of Social Security checks. Jeez. Also, they live off of donations, me and you, in other words, and supernatural power. Now, I wonder if they get that when they cash the Social Security check or they get the donation. Come on with this. I mean, give me a break. This lady's 80 years old. We're going to find out how long it's been since she's been into this thing. But the deaths, originally, there were 11 more. They died. The original 18 Children of Light have not weakened the faith of the remaining members, who say that their 80-acre paradise in a harsh landscape is protected by God. Yeah, and or Social Security, I guess. Members who died may have strayed from the Christian sect's beliefs, or perhaps God had another purpose for them. This is what the ones that are still kicking say. We feel bad about it, but we still believe, says Elect Starr, one of the sect's founders. You get it? They're all, first name is Elect. Why the hell Elect? Elect as in election, I wonder? But the story of how they traveled from the Pentecostal church in a tiny town in British Columbia in 1951. So that's when they've been out there since 51. Sound like a bunch of nuts. That's what it is. They live in an isolated patch of southwestern Arizona in the desert, about a 100-mile drive from Phoenix, and it's proof that they are God's chosen, according to the members. Prompted by a divine vision, a Pentecostal preacher and a former businesswoman led about 40 followers out to the Camaros and on a journey around Canada and the United States. They preached at churches and communes about the apocalypse and the importance of repentance, and the group picked up and lost people along the way. They found a destination when the words Agu Calente appeared in fire-like letters in the sky to Elect Gold, who's the preacher. I wonder if that's Elect Gold Visa or Gold MasterCard. Doesn't say. But evidence that God was within them continued in a donation that helped them buy the land in 1965 in a desert dotted by brush and surrounded by rocky foothills near Gila Bend. So I guess there's a place for everybody, and this is the place for them. But we'll be back with more stuff here, some Bosnia stuff. You got any comments on that? We're still going. We still got people that are going to die. That's DIE over there. American soldiers. Do you think it's worth the effort? Do you think anybody gives a hoot? You ever wonder that? Think anybody really gives a hoot? I mean, the people that are in position to designate who's going or who, when, ain't going. You see, they're either over the hill or they disqualified for many other reasons, but in the short end of it, they ain't going.
Happiness is a thing called WTIX, New Orleans.
I gave my heart to you, the one I trusted. You brought it back to me. I'll never stay. I sold my heart to the junk man. I'll never fall in love again.
Yes, and welcome back here, almost late night live until 12 midnight tonight, at which time I vaporize and go on out to the other world. I'm not going to tell you where it is, because then you'll bug me and want to come along with me, and I don't want you. I don't. Hello, Tina. How you doing?
Hi.
It's Tina with a nice voice, huh?
Yes, thank you very much. I'm going to have to start sending checks to you.
Okay, good. Somebody ought to.
Well,
John Marie was saying something about our bonus that we got, and then he said, I said, man, you getting paid for this? I knew there was something missing, you know?
Well, you remember the other night you told us you didn't need this job. You just go out there and get in your Cadillac and drive off.
That's right. I get out of here. I don't need this crap, man. You know, you think I'm here for my health or for the money? Give me a break, you know?
Well, you are funny. I like to listen to you.
Sometimes I wonder what I'm doing here. For true, I can go home, wait for Morgus to come on again. You remember Morgus, huh?
No, I remember him, but I have no idea where he is.
No, he's around here somewhere. Sid Noel, I think, is his name, and he's still kicking around somewhere. I think he's probably involved in television or radio production or something. I'm sure he's in the business some kind of way. Chopsley, I think Chopsley died. I don't know. I might be wrong, but he may have died.
Yeah.
The Condor shaking his head yes, so I guess that either that means he died or the Condor's head is loose again. But Bosnia, what do you think, Tina? We ought to go or what?
Well, I'm just asking questions because I don't understand this myself.
Mm-hmm.
That when the Democrats were in office and we had the trade agreement between the United States and Mexico and Canada, there was a lot of discussion about that.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they came up with the GATT agreement, which I don't know what those initials stand for, but it's the Worldwide Trade Agreement.
Yes.
The Republicans said not one word. They all just went in and voted for it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I recall seeing on the Pat Robertson show that he was saying, we've got to have this, we've got to have this.
He said we had to have GATT. Pat Robertson.
Yes.
Okay.
And then I thought to myself, wait a minute. I don't know that we have to have GATT. You haven't given any reasons for why we have to have GATT. And I thought you were supposed to be preaching anyhow.
Right.
So I quit watching him.
That's interesting because, there's, you're not supposed to, there's supposed to be a separation between church and state or church and government, but there's not anything that mandates a separation between the reverse. In other words, churches can infiltrate the political system. He can't tell you who to vote for or what to vote for, but he can tell you who not to vote for and what not to vote for. So it's kind of like the same thing, but there's a big, so you mean you got turned off to him because of that, huh?
Yeah, I did, because I was opposed to a World Trade Agreement, simply because I think it, the people that it will help will be that, one
world order or a new world order, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the really, truly big businesses that I don't know for sure if this is true either, because I don't know if I read it or what, but that when I think they called him the Butcher of Tiananmen Square came to the Clinton White House, the State Department rolled out the red carpet.
Wouldn't surprise me.
And he was the guy, that gave the orders for all the tanks and guns to come out there and shoot all those students that kept demonstrating.
Mm-hmm.
And so here, on one hand, we're talking about we're not going to deal with countries that are inhumane, and yet at the same time, this guy gets the red carpet.
No, we lie.
Yeah,
We're hypocrites. I mean, that's what it is, because that's exactly what it is. That nothing is sacred, nothing is respected, nothing is adhered to. We say we're going to do one thing, and then somebody turns ahead or fills a pocket or makes a promise or something, and we do something, and we're not getting wise to it fast enough, Tina. That these three things tonight. I mean, I actually had to look. I don't know if you heard me mention that there's three different. One's a representative and two are senators, and basically, if you delete all the specifics, they're all screwed. They're all out of here because they all got caught with their hand in the till, stealing in one way, shape, or form.
Right.
And that's just three. Now, if you got a bushel full of apples and they start to go rotten, and you only find three, you ain't looking hard enough. And I'm sure that there are many more. Look what happened locally. We got rid of 66 or 69 Rayburn, whatever the hell he was, and Nunes. They're out of here because obviously there was something going on. We can't say specifically because they haven't been convicted, but something went on. The FBI investigated them, and they didn't get reelected. But we need to pay more attention to things like that. Things are screwed. Things are not right. They're not the way they're supposed to be. You and me don't have we don't have a clue as to what to do. Let's say tomorrow you just flat out figure out what's going on in Bosnia and decide you don't want to go. Guess what? We're going anyway.
Yeah, and I think this has nothing in the world to do with anything except that Clinton is trying to establish a precedent of being among the United Nations peacekeeping forces.
Mm-hmm.
Because these people have been fighting over religion for a long, long, long time.
300 years now.
And, you know, when people are fighting over religion, you just might as well let them fight. Because you're not going to convince either side, especially when they're killing one another over religion. That kind of makes you wonder what kind of religion it is.
Well, they've been killing people over religion for, since Christ, so that's not new. But, what has it got to do with us is what no one has pointed out to me in a way that I can absorb it or understand it or appreciate it. What has it got to do with us? That's what I want to know. We're not the world's peacekeepers. If the United Nations is the world's peacekeeper, why are we kicking in so many people? I mean, if you take what we're kicking in and what everybody else is kicking in, we're doing more. We're spending more. We're sending more. And we're an equal part of the United Nations. We are an equal membership. We pay the same, and we pay to belong to that too. Get that? We pay to belong to the United Nations.
Yeah, but see, I think where the hook is that none of us know. And I don't even know if there is a Freedom of Information Act. I don't even know if we could get our hands on it.
Well, if you don't know what information you want, if you don't know what the question is, if you really want to get more versed on what's going on in the world, get a computer, get on the World Wide Web, and look at that. That is a non-government regulated entity. It's a news source, but there is no big brother, nobody saying this is what you can say, and this is no editor. It's just raw facts from people, and the majority of it is facts. You got to worry that a nutcake might make up something and put it on there, but there's it is scrutinized, but not edited. Put it that way. If somebody realizes that somebody just comes up with something, like there's a three-legged midget walking down the street and nobody else has seen it but this one guy, then somebody, what they call the server, steps in and says, hey, this doesn't get on. But other